Hello, my name is Ryan Hagee. This is the level I designed for Scraps. The objective of this level is to proceed through this facility into the reactor room, where you can recover the deuterium injector prototype that has been requested of you by the Bastions. Here is where we learn the first use of the exploding barrel mechanic. It can be manipulated with a gravinol, and when launched at certain objects, produces sound, a particle effect, and removes the obstacle from the player. In front of this door was the first fuel cell, which we just picked up. As the player proceeds through this room, they find a generator, which, as the player approaches, they find that, oh, I can insert this fuel cell. While this mechanic has not been fully implemented, it will be in later parts of the level. Now over here, you can maneuver this crate placeholder into this position so you can reach another fuel cell. Now we have a turret, which is the first mechanic of the level. You can avoid this turret by maneuvering objects in front of it to avoid its detection, or by taking an exploding barrel and destroying it, thus turning it off. This door here is another example of an entryway that can be triggered with an exploding barrel. However, this one will require the player to use the gravinol to open it completely. In this room, you'll find that there is another turret. This is the second part of the introductory of this mechanic. Player will need to know how to avoid the turret sight and yet find a way to get close enough to do something to deal with it. As you can see, the exploding barrel triggered this destructible wall. The wall fell apart as per collision with an explosive object. Now we enter the practice section for this mechanic. Player has exploding barrels here to choose from, or can pick up ones later on. Now in this practice section, the player has two turrets to deal with. Player can tackle these in one of several ways, using the terrain to sneak behind the turrets in order to deactivate them. As you can see, when the turret does engage, it attacks the player until it loses sight of them. In this part of the facility, we encounter the reactor room, where the player will ultimately find the main objective of this level. And they will also encounter the mastery section for the turrets. As you can see, by launching an explosive barrel at the turret, they deactivate them. However, the reactor, since it has been unattended for so long, is unstable, and stepping in any one of these damage volumes associated with the effect on the ground will cause the player to receive damage. Of course, if the player has difficulties such as this, player may choose to altogether bypass the turrets by sneaking through them or running straight past them. Here the player encounters the mastery section of the turrets, along with the exploding barrels. Now, at this point, the player has one of several options to choose from. He can choose to recover barrels from the previous area to throw out these turrets and deactivate them one by one. The player may also choose to attempt to run through but there's also a chance the exploding barrels, which can be set off by the turrets, will kill the player. The other option is to sneak behind these turrets and avoid them altogether. Player will need to demonstrate knowledge of how the turrets work in order to solve this puzzle. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.